Welcome to this week's Bible Topics discussion. We're glad you're with us today as we pick back up on the Proverbs 31 woman, the wife of noble character. This will be the conclusion of our two-part discussion on this topic. So far we've learned that this woman was industrious, kind, helpful, wise, noble, respected, a very good helpmate to her husband, and a lot more. Today we join Proverbs 31 at verse 20, which says, "She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy." This is an excellent verse that shows how a wife not only takes care of her family, but teaches her family to care for others. Her children are watching her as she cares for those in their family and in their community or in their church. There are more verses in the remainder of the chapter that tell of other ways that she cares for her family. But verse 23 is especially telling. It says her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. I think this verse is tucked in here among the explanation of her task, because he is respected at the city gate in part because of the reputation of his wife.
Verse 25 says she is clothed with strength and dignity. Another reason for her husband to be respected. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 33 says, "However, each one of you must also love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband." I would imagine the Proverbs 31 woman led others in the respect of her husband. Verse 26 says she speaks with wisdom and faithful instruction is on her tongue. Her children see this and gain greatly from her instruction. This is generational. They've gained from their mother and will probably pass it on to their children. Her husband sees this too and loves and appreciates her even more.
Yes. Verse 27 says, "She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness." In other words, she isn't lazy. And in some households, the wife is better with the bill paying and managing the money than the husband is, and so takes it on in order to keep that ship afloat. Sometimes the husband is better at it and he does it. Either way, the wife can be trusted to manage the household well, whether hands-on or looking over his shoulder to keep up with where they are in their household affairs.
These last verses, 28 through 31, are the ones that I love in this chapter. If a wife has lived the other verses we read, then these verses are a crown to her. They say, "Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate." Remember, the city gate is where many of the men of the Bible sat and talked, and they respected the husband as he sat there, sometimes in large part because of his wife. Today, men don't sit at the city gate, but men at the husband's work, at church, or just in the community can look up to a man because of his wife's reputation. These days, many women work outside the home, and it can be a real struggle. This is something that must be worked out between the husband and wife at the feet of Jesus, with much prayer and consulting of God's Word. It can be extremely difficult for both spouses and their children. So is running a household on one income unless that income is large enough to handle it. Like everything in life, we must take it to God.
Well, that's it for this week. Please like, comment, and share. Let us know if you have any questions or comments. We would love to hear from you. And, by the way, there was a man of noble character in the Bible too. Look for him to be our topic for the next 2 weeks. See you next week. Be blessed.